country is finished, where in this country, a foreign white can come into South Africa, kill my husband. He couldn't give a shit. Sorry for my French. He couldn't be bothered. All of them. South Africa, they are gods. What they say, it goes. I wish them the best. Do you know about karma? Watch this space, all of them. Watch karma. I give them 2 years. Yes.
Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. Well, I would like to focus on the issue of Janusz, the killer of Chris Hani. We saw yesterday Chief Justice Raymond Zondo granting him parole. So he should be released in not less than 10 days. So the background story on this guy is that in 1981, he arrived in South Africa. And from 1986, he held 2 citizenships, the Poland citizenship and the South African citizenship, which was revoked in 2017. Now, this guy came into South Africa in 1981. By 1993, on the 10th of April, he had already killed Chris Hani, one of the most prominent leaders in the fight against apartheid, the South African Communist Party leader, Chris Hani. When you speak about Chris Hani, everyone in South Africa, be a leader or the people who were alive those days, they are talking about one of the most important people in the history of South Africa. Now, this guy arrives, works with whoever he works with. They arrange the killing of Chris Hani, and he's the one who will shoot Chris Hani. 2016, he was granted parole. And then it was also revoked. And they continued with his lawyer. They continued fighting for justice, the so-called justice for him to get out of prison, to get out of jail via parole. Yesterday, Chief Justice Zondo sat there on the bench and said he has to be released within 10 days. My biggest concern was when I watched the interview done by the wife of Chris Hani, where she was angry. She said, karma will deal with these people. Give them 5 years. 5 or 2 if I'm not mistaken. Give them 2 years. Karma will deal with all these people, referring to Chief Justice, referring to the other people, probably even Ramaphosa included. Karma will deal with them. Those are the words of someone who's feeling pain because she has lost someone she loves. She hasn't seen that person for 29 years. And here is the justice system of South Africa releasing someone who should be, he's there for treason. He should be there for the rest of his life because he changed the scope of South African politics. He killed one of the most vital person who was fighting for the freedom of South Africa. If it was not for people like Chris Hani, we would have never seen what we see today, where people are roaming around freely, because they made sure that they intensify the fight against that ruthless apartheid. But today, Zondo sit there and say he must be released. South African Constitution is a shame. The law is a shame because it allows people that should not even see the light of the day. It allows them to roam around freely via parole. There are people who have been arrested for so many years. They did crimes that you can't even mention. Horrendous crimes. They are not supposed to be out. They are not even out yet. But here is a man who did a crime that will never be erased in the history of South Africa. When you speak about that crime, you feel shame. You feel angry as a black person. But then Zondo says that he must be released. The government that is running this country should also be ashamed. Because no way should we have someone like Janusz released. This guy came from Poland to kill a person in South Africa. You cannot come from Poland. Within 10 years, you are already committed the worst crime ever. There is no way that we can allow that. We shouldn't. And it's such a pain because Chris Hani's wife, she's going to have to deal with the fact that the killer is free. And the person who was killed will never be seen again. So that is my concern. And the fact that the Chief Justice has followed the law is more concern for me. It means our law is very lenient on people who commit the worst crimes. You go to other countries, you commit such a crime, you are just a political prisoner. You are never going to see the light of the day. You go to USA, even countries like Afghanistan, you commit a crime like that, you will never go out. So here we have South Africa. We have been talking about the death sentence because the crimes that are happening in South Africa, when you look at the fact that someone who killed Chris Hani can come out, people are just doing crime freely because they feel like, well, I'm going to come out after so many years. I'm going to come out. The sooner they intensify the law of South Africa, the constitution, they amend the constitution, the laws, the better, because we are a laughing stock. I sympathize with how Chris Hani's wife feels, because no way should she allow such a thing to happen. It must be a very painful thing for her, because she's never going to find justice. The arrest of that guy was the sentencing of him was the only justice she had. So now it means there will never be justice for her. And as South Africans, the only thing we can do is to go on social media and complain. We have no power over this. While people are going to UK saying that they are strengthening the so-called relationships, we are here worried about Eskom, worried about the fact that the same day the other one is being ruled against, the other one is being ruled for. I'm talking about Jacob Zuma, Janusz Walus. And then you look at the constitution of South Africa and wonder, is it being used to fight battles? Is it an unfair? Are they using this unfairly? Or must we just say, well, it's business as usual? We are South Africa, we are not other countries. But then at the end of the day, the crime in this country is a shame, because most of the prisoners, most of the people who commit these crimes, they always go out freely. Because why? Maybe 1994 never did us many favors. It did us favors on the other side, but on the others, it made sure that we are going to have to live with problems for the rest of our lives. But then this is a chance for us to vote for a new party who maybe will change some of these problems that we have in South Africa. If we continue voting for the same people, that is where our problem starts. Anyway, guys, Janusz Walus will be out soon. We'll be enjoying the new year in South Africa, celebrating with each and everyone, while the wife of Chris Hani continues to cry in pain. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in and watching this channel. And until next time, cheers.